another day is here. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling, WB. Be yourself, see yourself, this is the show my people. Believe our hopes so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, this the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution, yeah, yeah, yeah. No respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes, WB. And all the things that must be happen and not got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better, we got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling, WB. Get up, make every day count. Don't waste it, people. Do your part, play a role, get where you need to. You can tune in for work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait till the time calling is the show with no matter even if you're at home. Just call in, WB. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling, WB. Be yourself, see yourself, this is the show my people. Belize our hopes so to
Morning and welcome to Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes talk show here at XTV behind the zinc fence, Sweet Southside, Belize City. It's Tuesday, July 1st, 2025. I'm Sister YaYa Marin Coleman sitting in for Brother Most High this morning. And it's not raining, at least not where we are in Southside Belize City. Welcome, and we'll be here for another 2.5 hours till 9 o'clock this morning so we could have community conversation. Give thanks for wake up with a move, and trust with it be intentional for being a high vibration and excited about this new day and way and bring. You know, we have some low moments for sure, but we have to just prepare, take some deep breaths, control with thoughts, and pause before we respond. And so, I know the usual lineup. We're simulcasting on Com Radio, on XTV Belize and XTV Belize Facebook page, and on YouTube. You could join in, share the link, subscribe on our YouTube page. The usual lineup is that the National Meteorological Service of Belize, the forecaster this morning is Crystal Rosales, one give with the weather forecast, and then we have the first news brief of the day prepared by XTV Newsroom under the leadership of Marin. Make us say if you're rain or if you're be sun or if you're be mosquito, make us hear from Crystal Rosales, the forecaster this morning.
Good morning. A slightly moist and moderate easterly airflow prevails over the country. In the 24-hour forecast, skies will be cloudy at times with a few showers and isolated thunderstorms occurring around the country today. Activity will gradually become isolated by this evening, then redevelop over the south for tonight. And then high temperatures will reach around 88 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 84 degrees Fahrenheit inland, and then 80 degrees Fahrenheit in the mountains. For tonight, low temperatures will reach around 80 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 74 degrees Fahrenheit inland, and then 68 degrees Fahrenheit in the hills. Winds over the open sea will be from the east at 10 to 20 knots, with sea conditions being moderate. And then low tides occur at 8:39 this morning and at 9:09 tonight. High tides at 2:15 this afternoon and then at 3:09 tomorrow morning. The moon will rise at 11:04 this morning and then set at 11:20 tonight, while sunset is at 6:31 this evening and sunrise at 5:22 tomorrow morning. Then in the extended forecast, mainly fair conditions with isolated showers or thunderstorms developing are expected for Wednesday and Wednesday night. And now for the sargassum update. There continues to be a medium to high chance of more sargassum affecting beaches across the country during the next few days. And finally, for the tropical weather outlook, tropical cyclone formation is not expected during the next 48 hours over the North Atlantic basin. And this has been this morning's weather report from the National Meteorological Service.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989, Creme FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news.
Upon request, the National Emergency Coordinator for NEMA, retired Captain Daniel Mendes, and the Chief Meteorologist Ronald Gordon granted the media an interview Monday morning to discuss the weather conditions that led to the flooding, which began impacting parts of Orange Walk early Friday evening. Here's Gordon.
We had inclement weather conditions towards the end of last week. It started off, I would say, around Wednesday when we had a tropical wave cross the country. And then that was followed by another tropical wave on Friday, which was more active. That system eventually moved across the country, and an area of low pressure formed on it just to the west of Belize. And it eventually moved west-northwestward into the Bay of Campeche, where it became tropical depression number 2, and eventually was upgraded to tropical storm Barry, which eventually made landfall over eastern Mexico over the weekend. Currently, that system has dissipated, and we are seeing an improvement in weather conditions. Actually, that started from around Saturday. So we had significant rainfall. I think the bulk of the rainfall was on Friday, and then again on Saturday, Friday night into Saturday morning. And by mid-morning on Saturday, conditions began to improve over most of the country. And that has been so for the rest of the weekend into today, Monday. The forecast going forward is calling for generally fair conditions to persist, at least for the next day or so. However, we do have a tropical wave approaching the country, and that one should be near us by tomorrow, and it will result in another increase in rainfall. However, based on current projections, we are not expecting as much rainfall from that system as we had from the last one due to unfavorable conditions, or not as favorable conditions at the higher levels of the atmosphere.
In the Orange Walk district between Wednesday and Saturday, 12 inches of rainfall was recorded at Tower Hill and 13 at Douglas. The majority was recorded on Friday and early Saturday morning in a very short time period. We asked Mendes about the criticism that they once again failed to notify the public early that flooding should have been expected. He responded that the usual flood forecasts and the weather reports were made available, but there were no advisory from NEMO itself before the flooding.
Again, the information had been put out from the National Hydrological Service. There had been a warning put out, a flood watch in those areas. There was information put out from the Met Service as well. And so there was information out there already. Perhaps if we can look at our strategy again to look at that component. But there was information in that regard. But as the Chief Met will let you know, it is very hard to forecast where these things will happen. And we are just we will continue to stress to people that there always is a likelihood. And so we will look at our strategy again and review it. As like I keep saying, every event is a learning for us. And so we will continue to look at our processes to see how and where we can improve in that.
We note that the flood forecast, which was put out at 1 p.m. on Friday, featured flood alerts for low-lying areas across the country, including creeks, streams, and rivers, as well as a flood alert for urban and rural areas. When we highlighted that there should have been a warning from NEMO itself, Mendes said they will take it as a learning experience. The list of all affected families has still not been finalized. Things got tense on the island of Kikoka early Monday morning after a police-involved incident turned fatal on Luciano Reyes Street. At yesterday's police briefing, ASP Stacey Smith informed that the two officers in question Darnique Swayze and Lionel Urbina were off duty and were at a fast food stall when they intervened in an altercation that played out before them. The incident occurred at around 2:30 a.m. Fatally stabbed was Belizean American 18-year-old Kevin DePaz. Smith went to great lengths to emphasize that police-involved incidents are subject to heightened scrutiny. The incident prompted the Commissioner of Police, Richard Rosado, to head to the island.
So far, what police have learned is that 2 off-duty police officers were in front of a fast food establishment when they observed a golf cart with male occupants stopping at their location, and one of the male occupants is reported to have shoved an individual who was similarly at the fast food stand. It is reported that the officers intervened to this ongoing altercation and the male persons would have departed. It is reported and alleged that that golf cart with the male person along with other male persons returned to the location shortly thereafter, and an altercation ensued between the off-duty officers and the occupants of the golf cart. The altercation resulted in the fatal stabbing of 18-year-old Kevin DePaz, the injury to one of the police officers by way of a stab wound, and another injury to the other officer, as well as the injury of Canole, who is reported to be in a stable condition, and another male person, Nishan Allen, that was in the group, who is reported to be in a critical condition. The police's investigation into this matter continues. The Commissioner has emphasized the need for a thorough investigation to be conducted both by the Major Crimes Unit of the Police Department and the Professional Standards Branch. Commissioner Rosado has also reached out to the family of the victim in this incident and is heading out to San Pedro, to Kikakasari, in relation to this incident.
Go ahead, bro.
Did at any point in time the duty officers identify themselves to these civilians as police officers?
The investigation is still ongoing and I am not in a position to disclose that information.
Is it a murder?
The directives from the DPP will dictate whether it is a murder. It is still a very young investigation. The file will be compiled and sent to the office of the DPP, where determinations will be made as to what charges are to be levied under the circumstances.
From what is known at this point, who were the aggressors in the dispute?
As I would have stated, from what the police officer who had communicated briefly, is that there was an incident and they intervened, and during that course of the police intervening, the incident grew to the level that it did.
But the police officer or officers was or were armed with knives?
I do not have that information as yet. The investigation is still ongoing.
Who wielded the knife that fatally injured Kevin DePaz?
The information that has been disclosed so far is the extent to which police wishes to disclose. However, we can assure that a thorough investigation will be conducted and the information will be disclosed as it becomes necessary to disclose.
PC Swayze was reportedly stabbed to the leg by 25-year-old Nishian Allen. When PC Swayze retaliated and stabbed Allen, he was stabbed by DePaz, who was subsequently fatally wounded. Another individual involved in the confrontation was 18-year-old Julian Canole, who also had to be airlifted for treatment on the mainland. Our reports are that a large crowd gathered at the location and residents burned tires in the heat of the moment. The Ministry of Transportation is working on the National Bus Company plan for our major highways. We asked New Transport Minister Dr. Louis Zavani if they are also addressing problem areas in the rural communities as well. In particular, commuters have long complained about persistent issues in the Ladyville to Belize City route.
Yes, well, our CEO is working on a lot of the issues that are occurring, if you call it, in different hotspots. So that we know that the Ladyville Belize City route is a area that needs a lot more improvement in terms of the quality of the buses and the scheduling, etc. So that's one area. The Orange Walk area is another hotspot that we are working with them as well to try to rationalize some of these things, because while we're working on the National Bus Company, there are certain things that we have to address in the meantime, and we're working on those as well.
The Belize Federation of Fishers BFF sounded the alarm Sunday night ahead of the opening of the lobster season at 12:01 this morning that fishers who traditionally fish off Water Key were threatened over the weekend by another group of fishers who don't fish there. The BFF says the fishers sought the assistance of the Coast Guard and they were escorted to Belize City without further escalation. The BFF warns that piracy at sea is becoming more frequent and more severe, with aggressors stealing harvested products and fishing supplies and equipment. However, the BFF also says the clashes are the result of new entrants into the fishing industry seeking territory to accommodate their fishing operations. The BFF is calling on the Ministry of the Blue Economy to constructively address overfishing and enforcement. The matter was reported to the police.
On Sunday, 28 June 2025 at approximately 11:30 a.m., Paul Hernandez, a 49-year-old fisherman, reported to police that on Friday, 27 June at approximately 1:00 p.m., he was departing his fishing camp located at Water Key when he observed some male persons who are known to him to be in the practice of intimidating fishermen, circling the area where he would have left his trap. Mr. Hernandez stated that he returned to the location where his traps were laid. However, one of the male persons who was on board the vessel brandished a firearm in his direction, causing him to fear his life. Police are currently seeking 2 male persons in connection with this report.
And that's the end of this morning's news brief. At 6 o'clock this evening here at XTV, there'll be a full news package. You could tune in to the local channel for XTV. You could go to XTV Belize on Facebook, XTV Belize on YouTube, and listen to the full news package at 6 o'clock this evening. That's usually Monday through Friday, except on public and bank holiday. Remember, this show is being simulcasted on Creme Radio. So immediately following WB this morning, from 9 to 12 on the morning stew, you could hear news updates, news commentary, affirmation, community conversations from 9 to 12 on Creme Radio. At 12:30 on Creme Radio, there's a full news package. At 3 o'clock, there's a news brief. And at 5:15, there's a full news package on Creme Radio. We're going to take one short break, come back, open the phone lines, and then we could reason.
Informative, accurate, current information. Crem's newscast. Local, regional, and international news. Weather and sports.
At Atlantic Bank, we stand as more than just a financial institution. We are your partners in progress, dedicated to fostering your success by providing tailored solutions to micro, small, and medium enterprises. Your successes are our triumphs, and every success story deserves to be celebrated. We pledge to stand by you every step of the way. Today, we celebrate the values that define you with your unwavering dedication, steadfast commitment, boundless innovation, resolute work ethic, and unyielding ambition. We will navigate challenges, seize opportunities, and continue building the future together.
Amandala is now online. You can now access Amandala's midweek and weekend issues online by logging on to our website at amandala.com.bz/news and joining our membership portal today. There's 5 easy steps to get unlimited access to weekly e-paper, archive publications, and a host of other exclusive contents. Number 1, go to Amandala's website. Number 2, navigate to subscribed areas. Number 3, choose a membership level. Number 4, check out using our secured portal. Number 5, log into the members only section. Telephone numbers 501-280-4703 or 202-4477. Fax us at 501-222-4702, or you could email at amandalapress@yahoo.com or amandalapress@gmail.com. Amandala, all power to the people.
Imagine getting rewards for your spending. Smart prepaid customers countrywide, it's time to level up with Smart Gains. Smart Gains are exclusive, limited time offers sent straight to your phone. We're talking irresistible rewards. You'll actually want extra credit, bonus data, and exclusive perks, all tailored to you. Because at Smart, we've always got your back. Don't miss out on rewards made just for you. Smart Gains, Smart Savings, Smart You. Smart, bringing people together.
In 2024, the Belizean diaspora took over Los Angeles with the first ever Belize Diaspora Summit, and you know the only thing that could be ever better than that is to do it again. Belize Diaspora Summit 2.0. This time it takes place in the state of Florida, Fort Lauderdale Board Convention Center, July 10th, the 11th, the 12th. Belizeans from the diaspora, Belizeans from home in Belize, join together. Let's do it again. 3 days, government services, clinics, business displays, kitty corner, pop-up trivias, panel discussions. There will be highlights for business mixers. There will be live performance. Racindio, Destiny Wagner is going to be there. There's going to be a live performance of Makobi. And you will have Immigration and Civil Rights Town Hall. Special guest Kenneth Gibson, interview and book reading. There will be a wind-up reception, rhythms and rum. It's happening, Police Dashboard 2.0, Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Board Convention Center. Don't miss it.
Belize Morning Vibes. For we moment for have one reasoning. The phone number at 280-5848. 280-5848. Call and talk about whatever you want to talk about. This is the community conversation time. I mean, just one note. I believe the from the news I read just now, the head of NEMO. All I will remember is that the Governor General husband. I know that, but he apologized for said that this is one learning experience from the heavy rain what happened, especially how it impact people in the Orange Walk area, then livestock, then homes. Listen to me. If you're not cut out for the job, you shouldn't have me take it. This is not a moment for can tell we this is our learning experience. See, all in credentials when I say you're having a disaster risk management, you should have get trained for that position. As Belizeans, we need to stop let leaders off the hook when they fail at the task when they get hired for them. Life happens, but something as basic as that you never know that based on the weather forecast, that the protocol is that NEMA will inform everybody downstream in real time to minimize loss. That is totally unacceptable. And I have to hold the media workers accountable, especially when it comes to ministers. They want to talk about they never know. You get paid for no. That is the issue. That we not get value for money. I never mean to start off so this morning, but I just remember that just now that I read in the news that there is on. I want to look for the man name, Mendes, I think, in a retired military person. They like have a retired military person they run NEMO, but you're a sharp warning. This is unacceptable. No make it happen again. Okay, number at 280-5848. I've seen at the news too that the two unions agreed to the government's proposal as relates to how they can get an 8.5% increase, and then they wait for BNTU to get back to them on it. I don't know if I don't want to call and talk about that. It's Tuesday, and usually on Tuesday I would give updates about United Black Association for Development Educational Foundation Natural Hair Campaign, where we're holding the government of Belize accountable, specifically the Ministry of Labor and the Ministry of Education, for violating the Constitution of Belize by not enforcing it. The Constitution of Belize said Belizean students have a right to education, and because students, more and more reports we get, and not all violations of hair discrimination get reported to the media, that students are sent home because they don't follow European hair rules, European standards of beauty, European standards of what professionalism is. Because there was no serious decolonization at the time of political independence, then we still adhere to the European oppressive, racist, discriminatory rules and regulations. And so a number of students have said that my hair don't have nothing to do with how I learn, which is true. And so they send them home from school many times now, telling the parents that they will send your children. So they're denied education, one, and two, the Constitution of Belize give Belizeans the right of cultural expression, and how you wear your hair, that one way of cultural expression. Both the Ministry of Education specifically and the Ministry of Labor ought to be aware of the Constitution and these violations. So usually on Tuesdays I would give an update and said to the Belizean people, it up to we for defend for we children's interests and rights. Right now, you have to look for solidarity partners. Human Rights Commission of Belize, that want to work with solidarity partners. Then send one email. I think they said it was June 2nd. And to date, we don't get one response yet from the Belize National Teachers Union and the Association of Principals of Secondary Schools. Human Rights Commission of Belize sent one letter to them asking them what that for them position on the hair policy. They don't answer. Now, this brings to light for me that we don't hold unions accountable. Unions are known to hold the state accountable, but who the whole unions accountable? And unions, they get paid with Belizean people tax-paying money. We have one right for hold people accountable. And not because you hold people accountable mean that you know support their principle. I mean, the unions are the what they for do, but at the same time, the unions have an accountability to the wider Belizean public outside of their membership. And we just said teachers and principals of secondary schools. How the teachers want to talk, but we got your back. How and got for we back when we ask on a position for hear discrimination in the classrooms that Belize and on students being denied an education. I don't think they asked for a denied education. They asked them about a position on the hair rules specifically. Principals of secondary schools and Belize National Teachers Union leadership want to know answer Human Rights Commissioner Belize letter. This is unacceptable. As long as I got health and strength, I know I stop. It might not be in my lifetime. Believe me when I tell you now, Belize will change that discriminatory, racist hair practice in a schools that Belize from infant 1 to tertiary level, university level. Then we'll change it. And then I also have to hold the national families of the national the National Commission of Families and Children. They are the ones who advise the government as relates to policy when it comes to families and children. From last year, December, I sent the executive director a letter. Answer back. I send the evidence. How could they not know? That for them business for know since they advise the state on what's best for families and children in Belize. How could they not know of these hair discrimination that have been reported for years and they don't do nothing about it? If they do something about it, provide the evidence. Unacceptable. And so we have to start to feel comfortable, Belizeans, to hold people in power accountable. There are no sacred people here. Nobody. Especially when it comes to for we children. All right. The phone number is 280-5848. Want to know where I'm going to next, right? Our stories, Belizean stories. If you don't know Carly, that I want to share. One brother me call, I think last week or maybe week before last, and he may put, when he called, he never called back, the call in, and he said he may think or him believe that both British and Spaniards are European people. So the people who, remember first there was the enslavement of African people by Arab Muslims for like 1300 years before the human trafficking, kidnapping, enslavement of African people by Europeans. And so there tend to be a lot of focus on the enslavement of African people by Europeans and not of Arab Muslims for over 1300 years. Over 1300 years, Arab Muslims enslaved melanated African people, and it was different with them because it was a lot of women. They castrated men. It was just ugly. So I put that on the table because the Arab Muslims keep things say we don't remember them because we not talk about them enough, but for them violation of African people. Arab Muslims, 1300 years, longer than European African enslavement, kidnapping, human trafficking, 500 to 400 years. Now, so keeping that in mind, and before the enslavement of African people are the original first people on planet Earth, documented, evidence-based, first civilization, first in science, in spirituality, in language, in education, in agriculture, you name it, melanated African people on the continent of Africa. So whenever we talk about the enslavement of our people, it has often been said it's an interruption of our glorious years because for decades, generations, African people contributed to this world as we know it today. But because of discrimination, racism, our stories oftentimes not get told, not get heard, get erased. And because of the indoctrination of European values of indigenous and African people, we get disconnected from the true stories of our people. And so we then take on European identities. So we have European names, European, non-African for sure, indigenous African spirituality. And so you find people are Christians or Muslims, which is not authentic African spirituality. So you have people on the continent of Africa who could trace their bloodline to the original African people. And you have people on the continent of Africa who are the sons and daughters of enslavers, oppressors, and they're still there. So be very clear on that. Now, when it comes to Belize, because we don't know for ourselves as African and indigenous people, then again, we take on the identity of the colonizer. And one lot of way I accept, one number of way, one never let it go. Peace and blessings to know. For the other people who truly are seekers and really want to know what happened, how we end up the Belize, then that one take intentional studying, debating, conversations, listening, being still, reflecting, developing a sense of who we really are genuinely. Who are we? Over a period of time, and this I could just say this from my lived experience and from other people who become aware of who they are, not who other people tell them. They genuinely find out who they are. You naturally develop one level of confidence, one level of awareness of yourself. You feel good when you're looking at a mirror, just like how the Creator make you. However the Creator make you. You start to accept yourself, like this is who me. Whatever look back at me when I look in a mirror without me doing anything for alter how I look, that me, and then you start to accept that and just accepting yourself for who you are. I mean, that one lifetime process, that one examination of yourself. You start to think different, you start to feel different, you start to move different, you start to communicate different, and you start to attract different kind of people. So the church state system, education system where we have the Belize, no teacher that. Then teacher European value system, and they beat that in your head, in your brain, in your being, and they'll give you no other alternative, the only this, which is wrong. The Constitution gives you a right to choose. So we should not have a church state education system. We should have a secular system where people are taught world spirituality, world views as it relates to economic systems. There's a whole 8 billion people with different world views, and people have one right to choose. So we really ought to teach our young children, our young students about the world and the different world views, and then teach them that they have one right to choose, for think for themselves, for change their mind, for question themselves, for question authority, for create the beliefs where we say we want to take that kind of radical mindset change. Because the Constitution just get handed to we by primarily racist European males, and then you have women who support the patriarchy, the domination of women, and then you have what we say a political independence, and other people will look like we and just take the Constitution genuinely, and they never have no real critical thinking of it. While we there, and we have stayed away, especially other countries in the English-speaking Caribbean, on the continent of Africa. So I just say, for help contribute, because I'm not the first, and I know I'll be the last. A Mandela newspaper will be 56 years, the 13th of August. And one of the things where a Mandela newspaper is known for, that for bring the knowledge we oftentimes not get taught in the school system. So somebody may call in and say that then think that the Lagud cutters the media before the Spaniards. And I said to him, you could think that, you could believe that, because belief is based on faith. It's not based on evidence. My preference is to have evidence-based conversation. And it's up to we, for even with the evidence we have, for examine the evidence, look at different sources. We did do this because we want to know about ourselves and about this territory we know as Belize, because the state has failed for the most part in a teach with that. And we have to ask ourselves, why the state not teach that? Somebody the benefit for we be ignorant. And like my co-host from Sunday Review, brother Akamotota, revolutionary, credible brother from Trinidad and Tobago, said, no, that one, we're at war for knowledge. So it's up to we, for have the desire, to even have the desire to question the things that I just accept as true. Why I just accept it? How I know that true? How I could have a conversation with somebody other than, for example, just referring to the Bible. If the Bible are the only book you read, you cannot have a meaningful conversation. Cannot. If you believe what the Bible says and you believe it with all your being, that they are right. You should still be able to have a conversation, a debate, for listen to something other than what the Bible say, and ask yourself, oh, I never think about that before. Like I gotta do some research. And not everything we'll find online that's true. How I know what are true? How I know what are not true? Who I listen to? Who in the community has over a period of time show that they're trustworthy? They know human beings have biases. So I declare my bias every time, front and center. I have one bias. What am I bias? I advocate for African people racialized as black people, and I tend to be biased towards my people. Real talk. Keeping in mind all my skin folk, all my kinfolk, I still biased towards my people. I want jump for the fence sometime before I get all the information, and we have been wrong and we could be wrong. So I declare my bias unapologetically, and I know I change from that position. I cool at that. At 59 years, I cool with defending African people racialized as black people. It's natural to me. It's 7:15 or not calling 2805848. So I'm going to sure. So last week, I think it was last week or the week before that, I'm going to share one timeline where we usually not hear about. The Battle of St. George's Key, that's September 3rd to the 10th, 1798. So the information I shared last week or the week before was from 1695 to 1787, which is before 1798. Going back some more, they have one African concept known as Sankofa. It means that you have to go back, study the past, retrieve what is still useful, what is no longer useful, learn from it so that we don't repeat the same choices that our African ancestresses and ancestors made that never worked for them. But you know, I think they'll try it sometime. But if you study, if you listen to your elders, if you have one spiritual compass will guide you, then sometimes we don't have to make the mistakes. So we're going back further. We're going beyond 1695 now. I see how much I could. I get this from Belize New Vision, African and Maya Civilizations, the Heritage of a New Nation. And so as the technical director this morning at XTV is Alexi Belial, young African sister, brilliant artist. I asked her one time I get to the point where I need to bring up the map of Belize for show the river system, just so make we get understanding, especially the case that before as it relates to the territorial dispute where Guatemala got from Belize. There are things that we don't know. And if we know that things there, maybe people may make one different choice when time the state asks for a vote pan, should we take this matter before the ICJ. So I remember, this is why I should take one picture of this book. No, not this one. This one I have in my hand now, A History of Belize by Narda Dobson, but another book I'm going to think about. I love history from I had to go to Alcine School. There was a book called Belize Junior History. I could smell the book, I could see the book. But in that book, I remember words like encomienda. No, I remember the word, that was a Spanish word, but I don't remember what the word, I really don't know what the word means. I just found what the word means this, like either the past year or two. And so the encomienda system, the Spaniards are European people and their language is Spanish. So Spaniards, as we know, coming into Christopher Columbus with the approval of the Catholic Church, coming up people territory where they already had people living, and then claim it in the name of the church and the king and the queen. And so the area we know as Central America, where most of the people intact Spanish, that because their oppressor enslaver were Spaniards. For the people that would talk English, for example, I know these are the only English-speaking territory in our primarily Spanish-speaking region. And so, but when the Spaniards then come in at this region, there were Maya people here and other indigenous people, and not just the Belize, not just Central America, in the Caribbean. So you had the Kalinago, you had the names that slip me now. You had different indigenous Taino people, you had different indigenous people. So they were here. There's also evidence that there were African people in this region as well. Melanated African people. You could look on the Olmec heads in Mexico, for example. And so when the Spaniards came, the wording isn't that they enslave indigenous people, because they never hold it and take, and they see them as human beings, but they never paid them for their labor. So they forced them for work, but they never paid them for their labor. So they still see them as human beings. And so the Spaniards kidnap other indigenous people and give them to other Spaniards and say, you could work there on the condition that you convert them to Christianity. And that system of kidnapping indigenous people, forcing them for work, with the condition that you have to convert them to Christianity, that the encomienda system. Now, this happened in this book where I read from is chapter 18, the entradas of the 16th and 18th centuries. Entradas, that means Spanish incursion into this region. This is what the book said directly. It said the colonial history of Belize divided into two phases. The first phase was roughly from the 1530s to the end the 1600s. This earlier phase or period, you know, one lot is not known about it. And then it cites four things. It cites the Spanish intrusion or temporary entries. That's why the Spanish word, the entradas, into Belize will result in a short periods when Spaniards attempt to dominate Maya people. The second thing is say Spanish used the encomienda to dominate the Maya, which are the system I just explained to you. 3, unsuccessful Catholic church missions, complete with church buildings at Maya communities. Remember, this are between 1530s to the end of the 1600s. Now, and then we talk about, Belizean people talk about, at least my lived experience, they started to talk about the Battle of St. George's Key, right, at 1798. We talk before 1798 when it comes to Belize and this territory. And then, so they try their best to get the Mayas to convert to Christianity, and the Mayas, they resist. So then they go on for say, before the arrival of Spaniards at the Yucatan Peninsula, the Maya of Belize inhabited two main areas. Here are two areas good. I want to bring up the map now, Alexei. I want to visualize them two areas good. Now we're the top 1530s to 1600s. Chactemal, the word that Chactemal, or ancient Chetamal, province of the Yucatec Maya. You know, you have different Maya groups. You have the Yucatec Maya. They are also known as the Masewal Maya. You have the Quechua and the Quechua, Yucatec, Masewal, Mopan Maya. 3 different Maya groups. So I say this province extended from Lake Bacalar in Mexico to the New River Lagoon in Belize. I don't know if you know what the New River Lagoon there. I don't know if you could make it big. I don't know if they could see it, Alexei. I don't know. But I just want to know that the Yucatec or the Masewal Maya, what them for their territory, from what we know in Chetamal all the way into Belize. Now, there were no European borders at that time. Like we have one Belize, Mexico border in the north. There was no border never been there. This is before the British then come. So you see how far the Yucatec Masewal Maya territory over there. It said to the Belize, to the New River Lagoon. Is they say rich in the production of cacao and honey. The main town, also known as Chetamal, may have been located somewhere along the Corozal Bay, possible by the Maya ancient site of Santa Rita. Indigenous Yucatec or Masewal Maya. These are before British Europeans came. They say another large and important community was at Lamanai, or Indian church on the western bank of the New River Lagoon. Thank you, Alexei. So remember now, it's a 1530s to 1600s. We'll have Masewala, Yucatec, Maya. If I may know, I mean, do this, I may bring me. I don't know when I host again, but I'll ask my brother for compound WB. I mean, zoom in. I'm a Masewala brother from out. I forget the name of the village right now, but he is a grassroots intellectual. He don't got no colonial papers, but I put against any PhD because he saw the need for studying Masewal Maya stories. He listened to Maya elders. He still practiced spiritual, the Maya spirituality in a northern Belize. People like that who I rate. Grassroots intellectual. We're not just to talk their stories, live their stories. They teach youth in the indigenous stories. You have a lot of Maya people, especially, as I say, in a southern Belize, who are Christians, straight Christians. I don't know, when we look upon the Garifuna people, who still practice indigenous African spirituality, and I could understand for their survival. I forget what that word. I forget the word they use with. I think that's synchronized. I don't remember what that word we use with. Because on the threat of death, they have to give up their indigenous spirituality and mask it with Christianity, and so you have these different. One of the things why I just really have great respect for African ancestors and ancestors for, because when they bring them by force on the continent of Africa, they came with their knowledge system, especially with their spirituality, and they never write it down. So that one of the things was sustaining. Again, they had to mask it. One of the things where before, I can find it in this book. Anyways, so another large and important community was at Lamanai, or Indian church on the western bank at the New River Lagoon. And then it go on to say that, I don't know how to pronounce this word, I really don't, but it means foreigners or foreign men. It said one province, this province would mean foreigners or foreign men, extended from the New River to the Belize River. Again, this is indigenous Maya communities. The main community was Tipu, now called Negro Man, in the Cayo district, on the Macau branch of the Belize River. It may have also influenced the Maya of southern Belize. So I want to visualize, Belizeans, what was indigenous Yucatec Maya or Masewal Maya territory 1500s to the 1600s. Before there was any British European here, still European because they were the Spaniards. And again, this is a part of Belize story where oftentimes we don't hear enough or they not tell we. There was, where was it? I said this, I think they're in this book. I encourage you to forget the history of Belize, 13 chapters. And we just want to say this because we not come out and defend for we African sisters and brothers the IT. And remember that the first documented enslaved African who raised up against the oppressor, fight three of the biggest military, French, British, Spaniards, and win for we people. Now, during that time, they send some of the Africans then when they fight. The Europeans then when they fight with betraying. They may call them the Swiss group, I think. Anyways, they asked them to fight against other African people, and afterwards they put them on a boat and say, carry them away and dash their way. That boat Conda Belize. Make a share. This is on page 28. It said the one shining exception was Haiti, where as a result of enslaved uprising in 1791 to 1804, British, Spanish, and French armies were defeated, and the first Black Republic in the Caribbean was established. The ruling classes in the region were very worried about the lessons that revolutionary Haiti might spread to their dominions. In 1791, a French ship carrying 200 Haitians was turned away by the British settlers in Belize, who feared, quote, so infectious a cargo, end quote. And in the 1800s, the settlers discussed in the public meeting their, quote, apprehension of internal convulsion and the horrors of St. Domingo, Haiti, end quote. More than anything, the master class throughout the Caribbean was afraid of, quote, another Haiti, end quote, much as the U.S. has in our time determined that there must be, quote, no more Cubas, end quote. So understand that because of the victory of African people against European forces, who then forced Haitians to pay lot of money for their own freedom, or else they tell them they want to enslave them again, which put Haiti, has always set Haiti back. So when you hear the narrative of the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, ask why. Ask why. Ask why we as African people have one duty for being solidarity with our Haitian sisters and brothers, and hold CARICOM leaders, political leaders of the country accountable for not allowing when Haitians left and come to Belize, and they have one right for come to Belize. Why they change the law for say, no, they can't just come to Belize like they had a right to. We as African people, racialized as black people, and other people who suffer under the oppression of European people primarily, have one duty for being solidarity with our Haitian sisters and brothers. And keep in mind that Cuba is primarily one black country, not one Caribbean country too. It's 7:30, we're not calling, so I had to talk. It's break time, it's 2 cents come time. It's been brought to us by Fort Point Security.
You're watching WB on XTV, and the census show that Belizean don't into love no more because marriage relationship gone down. People are married again. I wonder why. Make I hear the people in 2 cents on it. All right, why you think, I want to hear your 2 cents. Why you think people are married again no more?
Good morning, Belize. They didn't find God. If you don't have God in your house, you will not find your soulmate. If you don't find that, it's not going to work out.
That's your 2 cents.
And I hope, Belizean, God come quick.
All right.
Very quick.
All right, thank you. So what are your 2 cents on why people not married no more?
Why people not married no more? Because they not got trust in their relationship. When you're married, they want dedication, and people can't handle that. They want rot boat. And they don't believe in the Bible, the 10 Commandments.
That's your 2 cents?
Yeah.
So why you think people are married no more? What's your 2 cents on that?
Well, I think more woman than man nowadays, and I guess people broke men. Society just broke.
That have something to do with it.
Yep, I guess. Nobody want to be loyal.
So you can walk in a registry and just wear a registry and sign the book and married? You don't believe in that? You don't believe in that?
Well, I
yes or no? Yes or no? Can you say that you can mention money?
Yeah, money have to do it one day, and then I think the male name, because I'm more female than male, they don't want to settle down. They have a lot of options, so.
That's your 2 cents?
That's my 2 cents.
All right. Why you think people are married no more? You think no love better? You think people are into wedding no more?
Bro, I don't know how to answer this one. I want to go out there and listen to some woman and talk about how when they finally grow up, when they grow up and think, the older one, the older generation, you know, maybe they, you know, the family, whatever, the older one, they tell the females, they okay, make them be independent, grow up, you know. They want to, if they put this thing, if they twist it on the wrong way. As for now, they achieve all of this now, as for now, they start to look back and say, hey, they wonder if they shall do it the, how I say, like in the old time days.
In 2024, the Belizean diaspora took over Los Angeles with the first ever Belize Diaspora Summit, and you know the only thing that could be ever better than that is to do it Again! Police Diaspora Summit 2.0. This time it takes place in the state of Florida, Fort Lauderdale Board Convention Center, July 10th, the 11th, the 12th. Belizeans from the diaspora, Belizeans from home in Belize, join together. Let's do it again. 3 days, government services, clinics, business displays, kitty corner, pop-up trivias, panel discussions. There will be highlights for business mixers. There will be a live performance of Racindio. Destiny Wagner is going to be there. There's going to be a live performance of Makobi. And you will have Immigration and Civil Rights Town Hall, special guest Kenneth Gibson, interview and book reading. There will be a wind-up reception, rhythms and rum. It's happening, Police Dashboard 2.0, Florida, Fort Lauderdale Board Convention Center. Don't miss it.
Tired of replacing light bulbs? LEDs are what you need. LEDs last up to 30,000 hours. That's 30 times longer than incandescent bulbs, and up to 8 times longer than compact fluorescents. So less changing and less trash. Planet Earth thanks you. And the LED experts at Brothers Habet and Habet will help you find the best LED solution with colors for every room and mood, starting as low as $6.95. You can even get LED strips for home, office, and industrial use. So say goodbye to fluorescent tubes forever. And because they use up to 90% less energy, you save money. Money you can spend on other things. So head to Brothers Habet or Habet and Habet today. You can also call, email, or Facebook us. Have a brilliant day.
At Atlantic Bank, we stand as more than just a financial institution. We are your partners in progress, dedicated to fostering your success by providing tailored solutions to micro, small, and medium enterprises. Your successes are our triumphs, and every success story deserves to be celebrated. We pledge to stand by you every step of the way. Today, we celebrate the values that define you with your unwavering dedication, steadfast commitment, boundless innovation, resolute work ethic, and unyielding ambition. We will navigate challenges, seize opportunities, and continue building the future together.
Imagine getting rewards for your spending. Smart prepaid customers countrywide, it's time to level up with Smart Gains. Smart Gains are exclusive, limited time offers sent straight to your phone. We're talking irresistible rewards. You'll actually want extra credit, bonus data, and exclusive perks, all tailored to you. Because it's Smart, we've always got your back. Don't miss out on rewards made just for you. Smart Gains, Smart Savings, Smart You. Smart, bringing people together.
Tired of appliances that just don't last? Appliances that just can't keep up? It's time for a change. GE Appliances delivers reliability, innovation, and performance you can trust. The decision is easy. Don't settle for less. Choose quality, choose reliability, choose GE. Paid for by homeowners who demand better appliances.
Belize Morning Vibes. The phone number is 280-5848. Wanna call, talk with me. I have to give thanks to my Belizean people. We have some people that are faithful listeners at WB. Somebody text me and say the Governor General's partner is Daniel Mendes. He's the head of NEMA right now. I'm going and I'm going to check it. And it may give, let's see what it was. So he's the coordinator for National Emergency. He's the National Emergency Coordinator, Daniel Mendes. Yeah, so just to get that straight. Okay, and then somebody texts and tell me how much they appreciate the history lesson. Then I want to stop. Somebody else texts and say, under the principle that hair has nothing to do with how you learn. True. Shoes neither, clothes neither. Well, we know you can't go to school naked. But since the person sent the text, let it be known that that is also a concern, because why you to go in a uniform? Clothes not got nothing to do with how you learn. I agree we don't want like young men going to school with them pants to sag, but why they still wear a uniform? Uniform not got nothing to do with how you learn, so I'm glad the person bring that up. But you're against the law for go to school naked or walk about naked, so you have to have on clothes. And then the person said, everybody culture is cool and unapologetic with their biases. I don't know about other people. I'm in a public space, so I have to declare my bias. And let it be known that African women really have the black gene, right? Because only African women could give you children of different hue. No other. They don't got the genes. We are the original Eve. Black women are really the original Eve. So for people who are not black women, you could feel how you feel, I saw the creator make you know, and I just say black people come in all shades, sizes, hues, facial structure, hair textures. You could have somebody who look straight European and identify as an African person. That ain't right. Like for Weepa, for our father, biological father, if you look pana, he look like one Spanish man. He identifies as a black person. A para one Spanish man, a ma that one black woman. He not grow up with a pa. He grew up with we granny. And as you know, your mother tend to have that influence on language, on culture. Women have that influence on children. So all he know that one black identity. Yeah, he talk to her in Spanish. Yes, he talk Spanish. Yes, he was heavily discriminated. Being born 1940. So he grew up in the 50s, George Street. And heavily discriminated. I mean, and people was very biased in discrimination against Spanish speakers, against Garifuna people, and that was colorism because of Creole people who are identifiable black people against Garifuna people who are identifiable black people as well. So you have these discrimination and these biases. So I would say people have a right to choose how they want to identify. And you know how Crawford go. And when I say Crawford, I just mean Creole people. That's how we talk when I talk Creole. For the one that will know that I have a father when I look identifiable black, they often ask me how I identify African. I tell them, listen, I will never take, there's some things I could say never pan. I will never take one DNA test. Because I don't need no DNA to tell me who me. When I looking at the mirror, Africa look, I don't remember who said it, we're Africans. Oh, today is our first day, I want to get to that. I'm an African not because I was born in Africa, because Africa was born in me. 280-5848 on a call. 280-5848. So I identify as a spirit having an African woman experience in this realm. That's how I identify. My nationality. I'm a naturalized Belizean because I never born here. I born the UK. My pagan and study. My follow behind her. They make me a born here. I come on 14 months, and this is all I know, Belize. So my granny, my grandpa, my great Belizean people. So I don't naturalized Belizean. So that's why I tell people, mind how to talk about people, you know. Because I don't want to defend Belize, the territory with people, especially African people racialized as black people. I don't ban you. I know you got a lot of ribbon songs say if you're ban you, but I don't ban you. And so I don't want citizen of Belize and of the UK. So I just say, okay, and just look upon people and think so people have a right to identify how they choose. That they right, and they go change their mind anytime they want. So because we're all human beings, but living in a world that is very discriminatory, racist, oppressive, unjust, people of color, who are the majority of the 8 billion people in the world, are being oppressed primarily by European males, primarily. And so when I move wrong in the world, I'm starting off in my house, I know they want to say black. You know, when, and no, I'm black too, darker than me. But when you hear black people say somebody black, they usually because the person dark skin. Or if they're really deeply melanated, they'll say black, 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 black. No, and it could be a black person saying it. No, black is not, how I'm using black is not as an adjective, like to describe a color. I'm using black, capital B. That's why I say African people racialized as black people, capital B, to identify a group of people with a culture, with value systems, with legacy, with our stories, with a landmass from the continent of Africa, with all its richness. So anytime I walk and be in this world, and people look for me, then definitely say I'm a black person, and oftentimes I get treated as such. Before I even open, people look for you, and so because of the colonization of the mind, the enslavement of the mind, we have been, and I just believe Caribbean countries, continent of Africa, wherever you had European people oppressing people of color, melanated people, and even people who are not, like the people we call mestizo and mestiza, the indigenous people mixed with European. The people we call Creole, the African people mixed with European people, but then you also had people that believe with the African people mixed with indigenous people from the Mosquito Shore. And so with the mestizo people, most of them identify with the Spaniards culture. They want to look as European as possible. They could marry a European and for them children look more European. They want to be as European as possible, look European, European value system, European religion. The same thing with the African people. So what we call mestizo or mestiza then distance themselves from their Maya indigenousness. And the African people that believe what they call Creole and Garifuna for the most part distance themselves from the Africanness. But all three groups run towards European values, value system. That for show you how deeply enslaved on lot of we. I tell people, imagine if you go to Europe and you see the majority of the people of Europe, they wear Afro wig. European people with Afro wig. You don't want to go wrong with them people, not true? The right so a lot of we look wrong here, where there are some African people who have natural straight hair. So you look for Indian people. As melanated, there are another one. As melanated as they are, they only melanate because of their Africanness. And yes, they have natural straight hair. So you got black people who got natural straight hair. That believes you don't count Indian people as black people, but clearly they're melanated people. And then, so you have a lot of African people, racialized as black people, where not have natural straight hair. We have curls and coils and kinks, and then go straighten it out. If that hat comb, if that perm, if that one wig, if that one weave, and then we'll find any justification you think of to tell you why they need to invest their hard-earned money into so much hair products. Black people dominate the hair industry as far as consumers. Dominate it for look other than the natural self. And you have to ask yourself, why? Why I think that my natural self not enough? Why I think that? There has been, you know, like in the 60s, a radicalization of Black is Beautiful, James Brown, you had the Afro, dashiki, and then I think early 2000s we had another naturalness. More people, you know, there's more natural hair products on the, for sale. People are making more natural hair products. you know, we're hopeful. I'm happy when I say, especially young black women who at a young age not put nothing, then they teach their children already. For example, Christy Flowers, I daughter Kirsty. Being intentional and make sure the child don't use nothing fake in her hair, praise her for your natural hair, take pictures and encourage her. This is what we need for the Belize, what we want. And more, again, more young people in schools are saying, no, my hair okay just the way it is. And especially children who are deeply melanated. You have, they still the cuss one that are black, but that enslavement our mind. Now this happen, for example, between black people. Morning, thank you for Carl Talk. Shut up, talk to me.
No, sister, they do a very wonderful job educating us all about the strength, our color, and where we come from. You understand? I love hear about the Taino, and I love hear about the Olmecs and all them people there. You know, we need to get people with that kind of information and for going to the schools and make we start to educate the children there properly and take away from a European syllabus when they have them with, you know?
They don't want that, brother.
I know.
You see what happens? When people know who they are authentically, then confidence grow. And what happens is the knowledge grow. And what happens is they start to challenge people with a chance thing. That's why the system no want people have the knowledge.
And sis, you kind of play with me because we identity, like me now, I like yourself, you identify as a queen, a black queen, and I identify as a black king. So when I address my brothers and my sisters, that for we royal titles we address each other with, you know, because we know we're not regular, you know. But since this morning, really, today the 1st of July,
brother.
You know, I normally make me call once a month concerning justice for, and if you have your fingers there, where you could count, I want you to count their names up for me. We want justice for Rafael Garrido, Michael Williams, a.k.a. Itza, Orlando Castellanos, a.k.a. Mommy Papi, Vivian Ramnareis, John Ramnareis, Mikey Ramnareis, Farid Ahmad, and also the 4 young men who were killed on George Street that night. And up to now, we don't get no satisfaction about that one. And I'm a very good friend, schoolmate, Kino Quelo. And I make this call because I'm very disappointed in the now commissioner, because I just see this as an opportunity for him for sure that he have zero tolerance for corruption and that type of thing, because we know the past commissioner was compromised. That's why he couldn't do the things when necessary. But one of the things I want to challenge the new commissioner is for him to, I don't know if they have to reopen it if it was ever closed, but the case with Ahmad Farid, that they try ensure that Miss Michelle Brown get the necessary legal protection where he need for come in and give that proper statement, and we at least make this man get convicted of one of these tragedy where he do, because at least we know Michelle Brown was on the scene. We don't have to rely on no camera or no other evidence. She was on the scene. She verbally blurted out in court. This common knowledge. Everybody know this, what exactly transpired, but because of the threat to her family and life, she hasn't been able to give that proper statement to her. Well, at least make we convict the serial killer of one of his murders then where he do. Now about 13 name I call just now.
11 I count now.
And he involved in everyone. You understand? There are no coincidence that. So, I mean, this is something very serious. You are set to a precedent for the other officers now. We just have a police officer who involved in our murder, the island out there. You understand? These officers have come to a thing that that in training school, they make them have a line, and they draw the line, and they make who want to be a policeman stand on one side, and the ones that don't think they could do it stand on the other side, because it obviously take a lot of people in the police training school. I live here at Abdamopan. We sit and they run up and down every morning, but that's not a training. Physical training, not a policeman, that's not a police job. Police job, that's something where you have to get technical with it. You have to know the laws. A lot of these officers don't even know the laws, and then going to represent as with law enforcement officers. So that's my lead two cents this morning. I want to throw in there, like I say, our challenge for this new commissioner. Every time I call in, I bring up Mr. Rosado name, because he's ultimately the one responsible for making kinds of things happen. So if you want to impress me, if you want to impress the country, and say that that somebody will really deserve to be in a seat where you could start with this case right here, so and show the Belizean people that we have zero tolerance for the encourage people who under the umbrella of the police department commit crimes, murder, tragedy, and walk away from it. And if we don't start to straighten up anything, the reality is that we have started to have vigilante justice, because people are taking in their own hands. It's already happening, but we just don't know that they happen, because nobody not they connect the dots. But in truth, this is where we have become a lawless place. If we have the people there with the pick for represent as law enforcement officers, they commit the kind of thing. Now, when you're a police officer, you're supposed to change your entire behavior. You're not supposed to be no man where they got all the bashment there and this, that. You're supposed to have a different outlook on life, because now you're the protector. So, like I said, challenge for the man, YaYa. I will keep the call in, as I usually do, and I want to see if we can make we get headway with the 13 deaths we are credited to this one person. Messages have come to me from like a please stop calling and all kind of thing. And when I catch up, I will tell her who they asked me to do it. But it just shows that how this is a very, very serious thing will happen, and a lot of people get compromised, and because of being compromised, they don't want certain things come out. When they know, I guess that guy, they could blurt out about things where he do for them, because this thing is so bigger than it actually is. I mean, it's really big, but it's bigger than it actually is. And the Almighty Father did what he did. He left us with Vivian just long enough that Vivian could disclose and say who it was who killed her husband, her brother-in-law, and who also tried to kill her, and eventually she passed. But I'm glad to see all of the evidence that still get admitted in at the courts, and you get tiresome sometimes, because just when you feel like, all right, well, this is it now, then keep moving the goalposts, making the field a little bit bigger. But we understand where all of that about. Everybody they try and make sure they stretch out this thing, and everybody get exhausted and nobody. But I know I get exhausted. I had to call back against this. So with that, I will say have a blessed day, man. Of love. I catch up.
One love, brother, and I salute you. One of the few Belizeans were consistent with something that matter to them, for calling and keep that concern, that community concern, front and center. Big respect, my brother. Big respect. I encourage other Belizeans all the time to do the same thing. They have lots of media houses. Call in, and keep track. Like today is day 301 since YuB Education Foundation started our Belize Natural Hair Advocacy. I usually call in on Tuesday. I tell Belizeans do the same thing. My brother call once a month, usually the first of the month. Only the people and save the people. Nobody know look out for a concern you like you could look out for a concern you. It happened to you. You have to develop the courage and the knowledge. Yeah, there's a cost to it. That's the life. Anyways, we're going to break. Stay tuned.
Come the banquet, find your way. Engines roar at the break of day. Volvo outboard surf the waves. Castrol oil is what what they crave. Live with power, feel the sound. Heavy machines shake the ground. Riding Honda, feeling proud. Rev it up and shout aloud. Feel the wind against your skins. Now so wide, let's begin. At Banquet, where dreams ignite. Gear up, and let's take flight. Kohler's power runs our towns. JCB lifts heavy pounds. Find the tools to build your dreams. Banquet's got the best machines. Grip the wheel and never slip. Feel the rush, it's time to trip. Every brand you know and love. Banquet fits you like a glove. Feel the wind against your skins. Now so wide, let's begin. At Banquet, where dreams ignite. Gear up, and let's take flight.
Banquet, equipment, parts, service. We represent quality.
Let's take a journey through the core functions of the Social Security Board. It all starts with registering as an insured person, employer, or self-employed individual. Sign up for a portal account to manage your Social Security information online. Just provide accurate information and click Create. This will give you access to a range of services and benefits. Next, your contribution, along with investments and other income, are collected and distributed into 3 funds. This ensures that the SSB fund is securely utilized to support various benefit programs. The SSB is committed to providing essential benefits such as sickness, maternity, injury, and pension. These benefits are paid out to eligible individuals as a part of the Social Security coverage. We help you navigate through life's challenges with financial security. Annual surplus accumulates to grow the fund each year. This surplus is invested into various industries, contributing to the growth and development of our nation. With each passing year, the fund continues to grow due to the annual surplus and interest revenue earned from prudent investments. This surplus, along with reserves, helps to bolster the SSB fund and provide a safety net for those in need. We've arrived at the end of our journey to better understanding how the SSB works. We remain committed to serving you and building a secure future for all Belizeans.
Whether you are a busy person or stuck in traffic or having an adverse or very demanding circumstance, tension builds up, causing you to be stressed out. Stress attacks everyone, anytime, any age. And stress is a killer. Palm City? It's best to be alive than dead. So visit Freetown Drugstore to get options to relieve stress and to relax your mind.
This time, what can I do for you today?
I'm so stressed out.
Okay, I'm saying I help you right now. When I this daily, for 10 days, I am good after that, okay?
Okay.
Freetown Drugstore, 28 Freetown Road, where you are better off alive than dead. Freetown Drugstore, telephone 223-2876.
In 2024, the Belizean diaspora took over Los Angeles with the first ever Belize Diaspora Summit, and you know the only thing that could be ever better than that is to do it again. Belize Diaspora Summit 2.0. This time it takes place in the state of Florida, Fort Lauderdale Board Convention Center, July 10th, the 11th, the 12th. Belizeans from the diaspora, Belizeans from home in Belize, join together. Let's do it again. 3 days, government services, clinics, business displays, kitty corner, pop-up trivias, panel discussions. There will be highlights for business mixers. There will be a live performance of Racindio. Destiny Wagner is going to be there. There's going to be a live performance of Makobi. And you will have Immigration and Civil Rights Town Hall. Special guest Kenneth Gibson, interview and book reading. There will be a wind-up reception, rhythms and rum. It's happening, Belize Diaspora 2.0, Florida, Fort Lauderdale Board Convention Center. Don't miss it.
back to Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. The phone number at 280-5848. Now, we talk about anything we want to talk about. It's the 1st of July. Definitely summertime. It's hot out. High school is on summer break. Primary school is on summer break. I'm not at liberty to give all the details right now. But I've mentioned more than once that last year, at the end of the academic year, a student from St. Alfonso Roman Catholic Primary School in St. Bite Village, Garifuna Village in southern Belize, applied to a high school in the south that is a feeder school for the high school where he come from. And the individual or individuals get denied because they're never literate. And somebody posted on Facebook, I think the intention was to bring shame. And I said, black child or black children primarily say invite down Garifuna community. So I said, make I reach out to some people where I think would have one interest, but make us see if we could come up with one solution. Now, this they happen at St. Bite, but no say, this they happen throughout this country for years. That children, they get passed from one class to the next, we're not literate, we don't have the skills what they need from preschool to university level. That's why then people with their colonial papers, majority of them I believe, honorate them. Majority of them, that's my lived experience. So I said, make I reach out to some people who I think would have one interest for make we come up with one solution. So I reached out to the principal of the school. Good morning, thanks for calling. Talk to me. Please turn off your, whatever you listen to WUB panning in the background.
Is that much better, Sister YaYa?
Okay, yes, brother. Wait, I still hear, no, I still hear myself. You have to mute it completely.
Okay, turn it off.
All right, then, no problem, brother.
Sister YaYa.
Yes, brother.
I want to call, now, for years I'm saying that the school system is doing our kids a great disservice by, over most schools' entrance door, they have this photograph with a European man that's supposed to be Jesus. Blonde hair, blue eyes, and pale skin. Psychologically, this is affecting our children over the centuries. And it was so vivid, Sister YaYa, I believe, about two weeks ago, my son graduated from high school. And it is so pathetic to see how the church and the school is incorporated into one. And they're having all of these graduates parade front of this big image of a European Jesus and bowing down and making the sign of the cross. It is so degrading, disgraceful, humiliating in the 21st century for the churches and the school to have this psychological image affecting our children. We definitely need to continue campaigning to stop that. Take all of these images of this European Jesus out of the preschool, primary school, high schools and universities, because psychologically it is affecting our children. No white Jesus is no God. First of all, in this massive multiverse, not universe, multiverse with trillions and trillions and trillions of planets and stars evolving around these planets with all different type of life form, this foolishness and nonsense is continuing to be perpetrated upon our children, especially African children. It has to stop. And secondly, Sister YaYa, the brother that called in before you went on break, speaking about the death of my Muslim brother, Farid Ahmad, and other people in this country. It is a serious matter. It is very serious. And some years ago, and I also have to make mention of the former leader of the opposition made mention that we are living in a failed state. Now, I'm not going to go as far as to say that, but I say that to say this, sister, and believe that when you have, and I'm not casting any aspersion because it is the court to determine, that is why we have a court of law, but when you have personnel of the security forces being labeled or accused of carrying out such heinous crime on our citizen, it is very serious. And it is time for the state to take stock and find out, is it that we have these rogue elements in our law enforcement agencies? Or is it that the state sanctioned these scenarios? It is very serious. Colombia went through that scenario. Mexico is presently going through it. Many countries in Asia and Africa, Latin America, whereby the state was complicit in using the security forces to terrorize our citizenry. Now, if whoever commits the crime and the court find him or her guilty, must pay the consequence. But to have the state, and God forbid, sanctioning such heinous situation, it is concern of the citizenry, and we definitely have to maintain, watch, and vanguard that justice is given to all those families that have been affected. And lastly, Sister YaYa, the ICJ, we cannot take our eyes off the ball. This matter is soon to be called up at The Hague. We need to have a backup plan. For those of us that is religious, we need to pray that the Heavenly Father answer our prayer and guide those judges, because God forbid that they come with any other decision apart from having our country intact with all the square mileage that the Almighty have guided us to become an independent country and still hold on to what we have. Sister YaYa, you continue to fight. May Allah continue to bless you, sister, with your courage and your determination. May our African ancestors continue to guide and protect you.
Before you go, brother.
Good morning, beliefs. Yes, sister.
Before you go, there's an thanks for your input this morning. There's an article in this past Friday, Amandala newspaper. I did look for it. Sister Therese Belial, I forget the last name, write it. But there were lengthy piece, so they have it in 3 parts. But I encourage Belizeans to go read it. It's called Belize, Guatemala, and ICJ 2025. On pages 2, 6, and 7, Sister Marie Therese Belial Newike. One of the points she make, and based on the 3 points that you just make, court could say anything. Court could say anything. Might rule right now. We know Guatemala aligned with the United States and Israel. You see how Israel and the United States are going right now? They don't care when no court say. So we can't think say one court say one thing mean that so it happen. Which I don't want me to think about it till I read this article. So I encourage you to go read it. But we're gonna say about that, brother, because the court can say anything.
I agree with you 100%, sister, because many of these countries that we look up to of being a vanguard of democracy, they have become rogue. They have become lawless. And given right there the Zionist regime of Israel have become a rogue and have always been a rogue country, having massacred over 70,000 Palestinians, and all the courts in the world have said that they are guilty of war crimes, and because they have the backing of Europe and North America, they don't care about what the courts say. So you have a good point, and that sister that wrote the article have a very, very, very valid point, because remember, the generals in Guatemala, they are observing what Europe, the United States, and Israel is doing in the Middle East, and they're saying, hey, the Kaivil is being supplied with weapons from Israel, and bombs and war jets from the United States and Europe, and they're not abiding by any United Nations charter or any world court decision. So if it comes to push, they could say, you know what, tomorrow we are coming over the border into Belize. So I would concur with you that we need to be vigilant. We need to have all of our citizenry trained to man a weapon, trained in first aid, trained in auxiliary, trained in all the logistics of any emergency once it comes to any type of activity that would be against the sovereignty of our country and our citizens. So I think it is high time that legislative document be passed that all Belizeans must go through a 1 year or 2 year training in as far as Belize National Guard is concerned, or the BDF is concerned, so we would be able to defend ourselves. Because who to know that we get a positive ruling for Belize, that all our territory is intact from independence in 1981, and those people still dishonor that and would try to come and try something funny. So if we have to defend our country, we're going to have to do it. But that article, sister, I glimpsed it. I've been going through snippets, and I will continue this week. But again, sister, you continue with what you're doing.
One more thing, brother. One more thing. I don't hear nobody talk about it because I'm a sensitive matter, but we need to talk about it. That a lot of Belizeans, because of lack of knowledge and lack of knowing their authentic self, swear things to the Israel in the Bible, that the Israel will get farming in 1948, and you can't tell them otherwise, brother.
Well, it is something that for years, Sister YaYa, believe most of us, like yourself, Wawat Nepata, Brother Edgar X, Brother Shabazz, Olatunji, we have been, also Brother Amin, that passed away, the Rasta brother who used to sell the whole wheat bread, we have been hammering away that those people presently occupying Palestine in terms of Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, Haifa, etc., are people that was brought from Europe in 1948 and before. They are primarily European people, Caucasian people, that was brought in there into Palestine, Israel in particular, to continue further the hegemony of the European world. The Israelites of the scripture are African people. Deuteronomy chapter 5, Solomon say like this, I am black and comely, O daughters of Zion. Revelation 22, John the Baptist said, his hair is that of lamb's wool, and his skin as burnt brass. The only people fitting that description on this planet are African people. If it were not for the Suez Canal that was excavated out back in the 17th century, that is one landmass from Cape Horns in South Africa all the way up to Baghdad, part of Persia. That's all Africa. The Canaanites are African people. The ancient Maccabees are African people. As we know, the Egyptians are, the Ethiopians are African people. The present Egyptian population, though, I want to make clear, are Arabs that invaded Egypt 1711, 611, when they invaded Egypt and dethroned the original Egyptians, which are black people that was inhabiting North Africa for over 1 million plus years. And they established that system in present day Egypt, which is primarily some Persians and Greeks and Romans, but they are not the original Egyptians. You will find the Egyptians further down the Nile, around Aswan and those places there. Because remember, the Nile River flow from south to north, originated in Lake Victoria, which is part of the Sudan and Rwanda and Uganda, and flow north and empty into the Mediterranean. So for millennia, meaning thousands of years, the civilization moved from Central Africa, culminating in the civilization that we have today in Egypt, great pyramids of Giza, the Sphinx, Memphis, etc., etc. So no, they are not the original Israelites. They are impostors on that land. The Israelites are us that was captured 500 years ago and brought away from Africa and dispersed throughout this continent, renamed America, and you could find us in the Caribbean, in Brazil, in Colombia, in Venezuela, throughout Central America, etc., etc. We are the Hebrew people, Sister YaYa and Belize, not those Caucasoid and Aryan people over there, and has nothing to do with no racism, but this is historical fact, and I challenge any pastor or any reverend to tell me otherwise, that what I just said is a lie. They are not the children of Israel. They are European people imposing the wicked system, which is a continuation of what is happening today in South Africa, that after serving 27 years in Robben Island, that's Mandela, coming out, becoming an independent country and the first black president of South Africa, still those Europeans call themselves Boer. They don't want to leave South Africa. Why? Because they are continuing raping the diamond mines, raping the gold mines, committing such atrocities in South Africa still, that to the point where they fed a black sister to the pigs. And you could go and you could Google it right now. They shot a black sister that was looking for food around the pig trough, shot her and allowed the swines to eat part of her body. Lucky thing, another sister that was along with her ran away and she escaped, and she went and reported the matter. Right now, that happened about 4 or 5 years ago. And during the bombing presently in Israel, did you know, sister, that the brothers from Ethiopia and Sudan and other African countries, they were denied shelter into the bomb shelters up there in Israel by these neo-Nazi regimes. So these are the atrocities that we continue to experiment, or we continue to feel on this planet. And unless we continue to hammer these truths, we continue to not to let up, no change is going to come. So we going forward with the blessing of the Almighty, with the spirit of our ancestors, and with the millions of other ancestors that home their bodies still lies from Africa to this continent under the Atlantic Ocean. We are not going to rest until justice is given to our ancestors for the atrocities that they committed against our people, because when they were coming from Africa, those that died on the slave ships, there was no ceremony granted to them. They was picked up by hands and feet and dashed overboard into the ocean. That's what they have done to our people. Also, they used to tie the little babies right in Louisiana, tie the little babies onto a big rope and put them out in the swamp and have them as bait for alligators. I don't even want to talk about it, sister, because this really make me get vexed when I talk about these heinous crimes that these people have committed against us. The little 1 and 2 years old black baby child, they used to tie them with rope and make them walk out into the swamp, and the baby is crying, and the cry attract the alligator, and that's how they used to hunt for alligator. That's what these people did to our people, and we right here so passive. And you know why we are passive? Because we are God's chosen people. We are the people of the planet. We are the original people of the earth. And as our ancestors always used to say, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. So we're going to pray for them, but we are not going to stop fighting, as Peter Tosh said, until Africa and Africans are free. With that, I left you, sister, I want to say in the Arabic word, Assalamu alaikum.
Big thanks for the reasoning, brother. One love. Break time.
In 2024, the Belizean diaspora took over Los Angeles with the first ever Belize Diaspora Summit, and you know the only thing that could be ever better than that is to do it again. Belize Diaspora Summit 2.0. This time it takes place in the state of Florida, Fort Lauderdale Port Convention Center, July 10th, the 11th, the 12th. Belizeans from the diaspora, Belizeans from home in Belize, join together. Let's do it again. 3 days, government services, clinics, business displays, kitty corner, pop-up trivias, panel discussions. There will be highlights for business mixers. There will be live performance. Racindio, Destiny Wasney is going to be there. There's going to be a live performance of Makobi. And you will have Immigration and Civil Rights Town Hall. Special guest Kenneth Gibson, interview and book reading. There will be a wind-up reception, rhythms and rum. It's happening, Belize Diaspora 2.0, Florida, Fort Lauderdale Port Convention Center. Don't miss it.
In Belize, we value our families, we value our communities, we value our neighbors. 90% of Belizeans think it's time for laws that protect all of us and reflect society at its best. 94% of Belizeans agree that public spaces in Belize should be more accessible to people living with disabilities. In Belize, we believe in fair treatment and supporting one another. We know that our beautiful country is at its best when we come together for the greater good. 2 out of 3 Belizeans support a new law to prevent discrimination in employment and public spaces. It shouldn't matter where we come from, who we love, or what we look like. Belizeans deserve to live our best lives. It's time for laws that protect all of us and reflect our society at its best. Equal Opportunities Bill. Belize, we're ready.
At Atlantic Bank, we stand as more than just a financial institution. We are your partners in progress, dedicated to fostering your success by providing tailored solutions to micro, small, and medium enterprises. Your successes are our triumphs, and every success story deserves to be celebrated. We pledge to stand by you every step of the way. Today, we celebrate the values that define you with your unwavering dedication, steadfast commitment, boundless innovation, resolute work ethic, and unyielding ambition. We will navigate challenges, seize opportunities, and continue building the future together.
Nando's Wholesale is your market leader in Belize's wholesale industry when it comes to high-quality products at the most reasonable and competitive prices. With over 40 years in the wholesale business, Nando's Wholesale embraces the partnership of the hotel industry in Belize by providing world-renowned brands in wines, seasonings, condiments, and cleaners in industrial sizes, as well as small and large kitchen appliances and equipment. Nando's also takes pride in providing one of the quietest and most durable air conditioning systems in Belize with technical support and spare parts. Nando's Wholesale. Professional, reliable, effective, and prompt. Nando's Wholesale always delivers. Visit us at www.nandos.bz or send an email to nandos@nandos.bz. Or, even better yet, give us a call today at 222-500 or 280-8080 to speak to one of our sales representatives today.
Back to Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes for this morning, Tuesday, July 1st, 2025. It's also the start of United Black Association for Development, Educational Foundation, and KISA, Keep It Simple Organic, my one belly pain organization, Brother Cliff Augustine Summer Film Photography Camp 2025. From now until Friday, usually the first week of July is face-to-face sessions. Second week of July, we take our children to Placencia Village. We work with one local swim school, swimming successfully and smiling. and as well as Black in Marine Science, an international organization for youth there. So we made a 10-year commitment to 7 youths. We're now at 9, saying that me one Belapin named Menelek. So Menelek is self-taught as a photographer and primarily photographer. He does film, but he focuses on photography. And his area of expertise is film photography. You know, I know a lot of people got smart devices, smartphone, point and click, picture tech. Film photography, like in the 70s, we had more film photographers because we never had digital cameras at the time or smartphones. And so film photography, just like vinyl records, they make a comeback, but it's more expensive now, so you're not finding a lot of people to do it. So Menelek, being the Belizean that he is, said that he want to offer to Belizean youth the same opportunity where he get. That learning film photography has opened many doors for making meet people, learn other people's story, tell stories through camera, and for travel the world. So he wanted the same thing for Belizean youth. So in 2022, during COVID, we came up with this idea, gone several inner city communities like off Jane Usher Boulevard, Yabra, Mayflower, Baca Martins, New Road. And we got usually children where I already had a relationship with them and their family already. And now a 10-year commitment. So at the time when we started, the youngest student was 8 years old. If the student stayed in life at the program, when he left, he was 18 years old. The reason we make one 10-year commitment, because why do you like one video game or something to play? Dr. Herbert Gill said one of the critique of Belizeans we have summer program is that they're not attracting students. Morning, thanks for calling WB. Talk to me. Good morning. Good morning. You're on the air. Hello. All right. Yeah, Dr. Herbert Gill said that we don't track with students. So you invest time, energy for one summer, then students go, another one come back. So you know to measure where to do, if it'll work, if it not work. Good morning. Thanks for calling WB.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Morning, brother. Talk to me.
I heard you earlier talking about the kids are graduating illiterate. You know, sometimes you can't just blame the teacher. You know, it's hard to teach 25 people in 55 minutes per semester, per class. The government needs to hire more TAs, teacher assistants. You know what it is to teach 25 people as the electrician teacher? I got people asking me about Ohm's law formulas. You might have 10 people and to break down some type of formula, and I can't do all that by myself. I need assistance like I have over here at my school. We have TAs to help out. So, another thing too, I don't think people want to learn English. They learn English by choice. Like you're being forced, because even my cousins, when they go to high school and take English, as they get on their phone, the first thing they're going to do is text in Creole. Picking up bad habits of the way they communicate with each other. It's a lot with the students themselves. You really can't blame the teachers. The students nowadays have bad ethics of discipline when it comes to studying, not like back in the 80s and the 90s with kids. This is a whole new generation. These kids are more social media type of thing to find an answer,
Brother, I said there's enough blame for go wrong for all of it. There's enough blame for everybody to take some. The role of a teacher is to teach. Okay? I'm not to say a point in the valley that you need more, but a lot of we teachers are not competent. I'm not to ask you. I'm to tell you now. I left Belize because I never want to be a teacher. Later on in my life, that's my calling. It's not my calling to teach in a classroom. So I can get colonial papers to teach. And one of the things I find out with professors in universities is they know the content area. So I study Black history. So they know the content, but what they don't know is pedagogy, the art, method, practice of teaching. They have to teach you how to teach. Most Belizean teachers don't know how to teach.
Okay,
it's an
you're right
art.
About that, sis. That's why the teachers program, but the teachers are lazy. They don't want to go to their training stuff in the summertime. They got a program that they're supposed to go to during the summertime, but a lot of them don't meet that criteria. Like you said, it's easy to teach in a syllabus by step 1 to step 2, step 3 and everything, but as far as breaking down a solution or how to teach the right way is the issue. Like you said, they're not teaching the right way. You know what it is too? Some teachers teach 8 subjects in one school, general studies, and some have weaknesses. And you gotta find the weaknesses in the strength of these teachers because they teach 8 subjects and maybe they only master 3 or 4 of them. And the others, they're just passing through. So, yes, they need to work on teaching the systems to help.
The system no work for we. It has never designed to work. Creole and English are not the first language of most Belizeans. So the truth is that we don't have to talk. That's why I mean talking a Creole. Because the one language of African people who resisted. I talk to primarily Belizean people in my audience. That's the who of my audience. If you have people where they listen, when I talk Creole, pay somebody learn the language, just like you do for any other language. I don't have to, nobody should have to force to accept European people's standards. Nobody. So that's the part of the issue with how we teach. We are English as second language learners. The teachers don't even know the concept to teach that, brother.
Yeah, okay. For example, when you step into my office at Human Resources and you want to interview, you can't talk to me in a Creole. You got to talk to me the right way.
Brother, who say?
Basically.
Okay, so if you just say I have to talk to you the right way, you just say Creole wrong, and that's the part of the issue. Because we don't know ourselves, we constantly get told that we hairstyle not professional. We language. Who the hell determined that? That's a European mindset and worldview, brother.
Oh, yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that, right? But let's take example. 50% of Belize jobs are what's that thing called? Call centers. Over there by Tropicana and everything. They can't talk Creole when they go into that place, and that's why a lot of these kids are getting frustrated when they go to a call center because of speech communication, basically. That's one point at that place is communication skills, and they don't know how to hold a conversation, basically, in English.
So my point to you is this, brother. The miseducation system what we have was never designed to work for us. If we had an education system that worked, we'd have recognized that most Belizean children first language is not English. You can't force them. It's not their first language. So when you have a curriculum where honor people first language and their identity and recognizing that English is so happen that a language of the capitalist economy, I not deny that. If you had one education system where other people's first language alongside the second language, which the English, and a lot of the textbooks that I read in English, then the children, if the educators knew how to teach and were open to learning creative ways of teaching, and we had one system was designed for liberate people, then it would not be an issue. Look how long they teach Spanish in this country. How much Belizean can't talk Spanish? For years then they teach. It wasn't designed to work. It no matter how much time we talk about it.
You know why, Sister YaYa? Because we go into that class as a black person, I hate Spanish. I took Spanish at El Camino. Ecumenical High School. Yeah, Ecumenical. I came in first in my class, and I hated Spanish, but I got to do what I got to do to pass this class. Spanish is the most easiest subject to pass than English, from what I heard, because all you got to learn how to do is how to conjugate. It's very easy to learn, but we go to this mindset, I want to use this in the future, so why should I study Spanish? That's how we think as black people sometimes too. Not all, but some.
Well, brother, the system never designed for work. I know the work. The one church-state system, the church first responsibility that for win souls for a European concept of God, and that the power there has mentally enslaved people. So only the people want to save the people. It's up to the people for reflect on yourself, for ask themselves if this work, or if it don't work, what we willing to do for make a change.
Yes, ma'am. All right, that's all I wanted to say.
Respect, brother. Thanks for the reasoning.
Yeah, one more thing, right?
Yes.
In America, with this Trump thing, racism has hyped up more with the blacks and the whites and everything. Especially when you go to Florida, West Palm Beach, where Trump lives. My son lives in West Palm Beach. Those guys walk around with Confederate flags like it's nothing over there, It's getting very out of hand, It don't happen on the West Coast because blacks are more orientated, so we don't tolerate that type of nonsense over there. But, as far as we blacks, we got to stick together because we worry about the white people. We got to worry about the blacks. We doing our own stuff wrong nowadays. Ain't about the whites. Yeah, we got to put some of the success from the past, from 1700s and everything, but we got to think about now. It's us blacks destroying us blacks. Peace.
Respect, brother. One love. And I'll take them calls right now. So Brother Cliff Augustine Summer Film Photography Camp 2025 starts today from 9 to noon. The support primarily comes from Brother Cliff Augustine family, Brother Cliff Garifna, Belizean brother, where a rebel, where living life, understanding that education, that a change maker, and he has consistently done that in his life. And so his wife, sister Elma Whitaker Augustine, and their family continue Brother Cliff Augustine legacy, ensure that these children could continue the mastery of film photography. Like I said, it's our 4th year. One of our oldest students when the program started was 15 years old. That student is now 18 years old. Last year, Zoe Norales was Menelek's assistant curator. So she did the less picture taking and more learning about editing of pictures, the curation, and that the process with all 9 of these children going through. Now, we find most summers that the young people are going from primary school to standard Farm 1. So that means they can't come to summer school for the face-to-face or go the swimming camp because the first 2 weeks they're in a summer school. That not stop. We carry the camera to them. We work with them for years now. Give them the theme for the year. Then take the picture. We send the camera, go develop. I think it's called Black Art Film Lab. We tend to work with black people. It's amazing. I hope to have them on WB hopefully tomorrow morning to talk more about it. But really awesome, brother. What he do, he take film, what I use to record movies on, and he refurbish it for make it go put pure camera. And so the image itself is extremely vibrant. So this year's theme for 2025, I so hype. Should I know why I'm hype? It's here. With a play on the word H-E-R-E to be H-A-I-R. So we ask Belizean people, Friday morning from 9 to 12, weather permitting, for Conda Battlefield Park. For $1, you could get your picture taken, whatever hairstyle you have. Now, there's no guarantee that when we have an art exhibition on the 31st of July here at the Library of African Indigenous Studies from 7 to 9 p.m., bring on the money, that your picture will make the final cut. But I'll give the children an opportunity to work with people in the community. So Friday morning from 9 to 12, Battlefield Park, you come out with a hairstyle, you go do the hair, what you don't have to go here. Come make then children take on a picture. I would look forward to it. That's the Brother Cliff Augustine Summer Film Photography Camp 2025. Our camp volunteers, Christy Flowers from XTV. I had to bring you lead that, Christy, Sharon Hope. Our camp volunteers, thank people like Kim Neal, who send me breakfast this morning. Kim that provides snacks for the students and juice at 10:30. Camp is from 9 to 12:30. Look out for Ado and start to run tomorrow for encouraging you to come out Friday 9 to 12 Battlefield Park by Brody's, which will be July 4th. For getting the pictures taken by the youths from inner city communities in Belize. Summer, Brother Cliff Augustine Summer Film Photography Camp. Break time.
In Belize, diversity is our strength. From the vibrant streets of Corozal to the serene beauty of Punta Gorda, and from the charming town of Benque to the breathtaking views of Half Moon Cay. We are a tapestry of cultures, traditions, and perspectives. But amidst our differences, there's one thing that unites us all, that defines the essence of Belizean identity. Our love for this land and sea we call home. Our Belize Barrier Reef is more than just a natural wonder. It's the lifeblood of our nation, the foundation of our culture, and the backbone of our economy. Every lobster caught, every conch harvested, every tourist enchanted, every investor satisfied, every proud homeowner, and every taxpayer. They all depend on the health and vitality of our marine environment.
I may be out on the water every day, but I know that my livelihood is tied to the health of the reef. We all depend on it.
As a tour guide, I get to share the beauty of a reef with visitors from around the world. But I want future generations of Belizeans to experience it too.
Fresh seafood is the heart of Belizean cuisine. I want to continue creating delicious dishes that celebrate our local flavors, sustainably sourced from our waters.
In Belize, we may come from different backgrounds, but we all share the same dream. A thriving marine environment capable of sustaining us all. Together, let's work toward that future. A future where we all thrive.
At Atlantic Bank, we stand as more than just a financial institution. We are your partners in progress, dedicated to fostering your success by providing tailored solutions to micro, small, and medium enterprises. Your successes are our triumphs, and every success story deserves to be celebrated. We pledge to stand by you every step of the way. Today, we celebrate the values that define you with your unwavering dedication, steadfast commitment, boundless innovation, resolute work ethic, and unyielding ambition. We will navigate challenges, seize opportunities, and continue building the future together.
Make light work lighter and quicker with switch technology from Axi Power Tools. Axi Switch technology breaks the bondage of power cords and grants you the luxury of freedom and precision. Switch one battery across all your Axi line power tools effortlessly, allowing for quick and efficient work. Cut the cords. Choose efficiency with Axi Switch technology. Only at Benny's. Quality and savings.
Let's take a journey through the core functions of the Social Security Board. It all starts with registering as an insured person, employer, or self-employed individual. Sign up for a portal account to manage your Social Security information online. Just provide accurate information and click Create. This will give you access to a range of services and benefits. Next, your contribution, along with investments and other income, are collected and distributed into 3 funds. This ensures that the SSB fund is securely utilized to support various benefit programs. The SSB is committed to providing essential benefits such as sickness, maternity, injury, and pension. These benefits are paid out to eligible individuals as a part of the Social Security coverage. We help you navigate through life's challenges with financial security. Annual surplus accumulates to grow the fund each year. This surplus is invested into various industries, contributing to the growth and development of our nation. With each passing year, the fund continues to grow due to the annual surplus and interest revenue earned from prudent investments. This surplus, along with reserves, helps to bolster the SSB fund and provide a safety net for those in need. We've arrived at the end of our journey to better understanding how the SSB works. We remain committed to serving you and building a secure future for all Belizeans.
So time for shut the shots. Shop session. No more calls. It's 9 o'clock. Thanks everybody with call, listen, text, live stream, share the link later. Remember XTV Belize YouTube, subscribe XTV Belize Facebook, share the link. This show on repeat at 3:30 this afternoon for your local channel XTV. Thanks to the security guard when I come in this morning, Roger Rappa Rushford, now Shane Flowers, here at XTV, the technical director. Big thanks, Alexi Belisle, our senior engineer, Brother Cliff Lewis. Downstairs at Creme Radio is Larry Guerrero, known as Larry G. We should be back here tomorrow. Creator give you health and strength at 6:30. Remember I say, only the people and save the people.
Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show of people. Believe our hopes up to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. It's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No respect on selfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a nation. We are the people.